Welcome.
To the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 407 of The Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley. It's so good to have you here. I'm going to be live hacking on some Firefox stuff. Let's get into it. What's going on today? Let me start by sharing my screen. Hey, this is the agenda. It's June 25th, 2025, episode 407. A reminder, no plan survives breakfast. I think I know what I want to do today, but how it goes, we'll see. We're going to figure it out together. We may get stuck, sidelined. I've got like a sort of a list of things I'm hoping that we could try doing today, and we'll see if we get through some of them. We'll see. Maybe we can get through all of them. We're not sure. None of this has been really sort of pre-sketched out. We're just going to watch me do software development in the raw, so to speak. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the agenda that we're looking at is available to you. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla, check out the details section over on that side of the screen. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out the video description down below. And if you're watching this on Twitch, I just realized that I failed to update the Twitch page with the updated links. So let me quickly do that. Let me update Twitch just in case anyone there is. I've visited Twitch and now it's making sound. I need to update the channel links so that you've got the links to both the agenda as well as the rate this episode links. Let me just update that real quick. Boop, boop, boop. And the rate this episode link, which is this one. Sorry, you're watching me update this thing in real time, and then we'll get to it. Okay, so it's been updated. If you refresh, I guess, I don't know how Twitch works, but it's possible that that'll all be, it may be live, it may not be, but hopefully if you didn't have an up-to-date link to the agenda, now you should on Twitch. Nerdy. It's a nerdy joke. Okay, let us get into it. What are we working on today? Well, I wanted to focus in on something that showed up on our radar recently, and about 13 days ago, this was filed by our QA people, which is that importing from Opera, not Opera GX, but Opera, stopped working on all platforms, Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And it wasn't like we just changed a thing on our side. It's more likely, just based on the rest of the conversation in this bug, that Opera changed how they store information about user profiles, and so we can infer that we need to make some adjustments. We need to sort of like figure out what Opera changed, and then see if we can get importing working again. And so I said I'd find some time to work on this, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. So let's start by reproducing the bug. I did install Opera. It's been a while since I've used Opera. It's changed a lot. Look at those separated tabs. Often imitated, never duplicated. Firefox did it first. And yeah, they're really dense tabs here. But, it's a fine browser. It does its job. It's weird to see the close on the left side. But let's see if we can import some information. So I've got a build of Firefox, a local build, I think. Here, let me pump up the font so you can see what I'm doing. I have a local artifact build. Make sure it's up to date. And then what we're going to do is make sure that we cannot see Opera listed as one of the other browsers to import from. Okay, so here's... this is broken because I was just testing some proxy stuff. Yeah, no proxy, please. Reload. I might have to reload the browser, actually. There we go. Okay, so we want to try and import. So import data. It's going to list all the browsers it can find locally, and lo and behold, it does not find Opera. And it used to find Opera, and according to Bianca, our QA from Desktop Test Engineering, our QA person, was telling us that the difference is that in this version, Opera was starting in version 104.0.494423, an additional folder is created. Now, the path that Bianca is giving us here is for Windows, but we can infer that there's something kind of similar going on Mac OS. And in prior times, a different folder was selected. So it looks like the folder depth has changed, whereas before, this is pretty close. It's just that now there's a default folder that's underneath the Opera stable root folder. So Opera, I believe, will tell us where the profile is stored under, this is the path that I have locally. And lo and behold, yes, there is a default folder here. And I guess that's not where, wow, there's so much going on. That is not where Firefox is looking whenever it tries to import things. Now, I am curious, default is also the name of, is that the name of the profile? If I create a new profile, can I do that in Opera? How do I do that in Opera? How do I create a new profile? Person? No. How do I do that? Opera, create new profile. Not in, okay, here we go. Opera forums. Opera doesn't support profiles. Oh. Okay. Workspaces. To create a new profile, first open Opera, navigate the easy setup menu and scroll down. I'm not using GX. It's unclear. Like, certainly it's not immediately apparent how to create multiple profiles in this browser. Easy setup. There's so much going on here. Full browser settings. Is there something in here about profile? No. Features. Oh my goodness. The kitchen sink. Lucid mode. Oh boy. Okay, I don't think they have profiles. I mean, I'm getting the impression that there's no profiles in Opera. Certainly, maybe they don't call it that. Workspace, enable workspaces, learn more. What are these? Manage tabs. Turn to workspaces. Click on icon through the workspaces icon at the top of your sidebar. Click on the icons to jump between them. Okay, so these are different workspaces. Okay, so I think this is more just like, it's almost like tab groups. Oh, fancy animations. GPU powered animations. Slick. But yeah, I don't think these are profiles. Certainly, if I create a bookmark here, let's create a bookmark. Done. So I've got features here. Now I change workspaces. The bookmark is still here. This is the same profile. So SmurfD is suggesting I go here. Opera side profile settings. Side profiles settings. No, that is not, I'm not seeing anything like that here. So let's say for now that it doesn't seem like Opera supports profiles. Okay, well that makes our job easier. And I think is consistent, if I recall correctly, is consistent with how our migrator for Opera, for the old Opera works, is it assumed that there's just a single profile. Let's actually, let me close all these. There's just too many open files. No. Close. Don't need any of this stuff anymore. And we're gonna go into, so because Opera is really just a Chromium browser, it's just another Chromium browser, our migrator is under Chrome Profile Migrator, and we're gonna find Opera Profile Migrator. Yeah, for under get source profiles, it returns null, meaning that if we look at the base migrator base, get source profiles, override if and only if the source provides supports multiple profiles. For a single profile source, this returns null and not an empty array. This is the default implementation. So, right, our implementation assumes Opera does not support multiple profiles. Now, the lookup that it does is actually not in here in the class definition, which is a little bit of a pain. It's over here in Chrome Migration Utils. I believe there is like a mapping between like the platforms and then the identifiers of the migrator, or the browser rather, and then probable paths to look for the user profiles. Chrome project name, get data path, right, and that's matching on what? The user data path suffix? What is that matching on? Get data path. Chrome project name, get local state, which comes from get local state, the Chrome user data path suffix, which for Opera is capital O Opera. Okay. So it's going to look, on Mac OS at least, it will look here under ulibdir, which, let's see what that actually is. Ulibdir is services dir service get ulibdir path. That's just my library directory. And then it's going to be under application support, COM Opera software Opera. Okay. So maybe in order to make this more flexible, what we can do is we can look in two places. We're going to look in two places because it's possible that some people will still have like the older Opera around. And so what I'll do is I'll make reference to the version number, bug, as of Opera, and profile data is stored under a folder default under the main application profile directory. Okay, so let's see if that's enough to get it working for our local build. Let's see if it can find stuff. While we're at it, let's put a password inside of our profile and make sure that importing the password works. Passwords. Password manager. Here we go. I'm going to add a password. My password is for example.com. My username is test. My password is test. Save. Okay, so I've got a password here. I'm going to shut down Opera. Now let's see if we can find Opera. We did not find Opera. No permissions for local state folder. Let us see if we can find out why. Let's use the debugger. We just need the parent process here. We're going to go Chrome, Migration Utils, Opera. And let's see if we enter here. Options, Chrome project name Brave, no. Canary, no. Chromium, no. Edge, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a condition, Chrome project name equals Opera. And then we'll just continue. We didn't hit it at all. What in the world? Let's add a log point here. Add log. Chrome project name. It doesn't look for Opera at all. maybe because it had already looked for it before and it has cached its notion of it. That seems likely. So I need to like restart with these breakpoints around, or these log points. So I'm going to restart the browser. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that yeah, here we go. Now we hit it. Chrome project name is Opera. Options. So we've got our 2 arrays here for subfolder of options. So we're going to go the root dir, get the file path. We're going to get the target path is there. We're going to see if it exists. Does it exist? Survey says yes, it exists. So we return the target path. If it exists, we'll set the Chrome user data path to that path. We're going to return that from get Chrome user path data path if it exists. And now we're going to try and access its local state. We're going to attempt to read, and we fail. So Snap can check existence even without being able to read the file. So does the local state file data path, so local state path, does it exist? No, it doesn't exist. So that's a problem. So Opera has also, I think we need to actually examine the contents of this folder. Let's take a look in here and see what's in here. There's nothing in here called local state. What about at the top level? So local state's up higher. It's here. Okay. I'm doing my best Jeff Goldblum. Yes. Okay. I think I know what's happening. Opera itself does not support profiles. They may be trying to maneuver themselves so they can eventually support profiles. Yes. And so what we need to do, I think, is not do this. This is pointing at the default profile. Instead, we go to our Chrome Profile Migrator, get source profiles. Let's see. I think we can just like remove this return null. Maybe that'll work, so that we use the sort of the base implementation that we use for Chrome. Very nice. Oh yes. That's my Jeff Goldblum. All right, here we go. Opera. Hey, look what we got here. Looky loo. So let's try and import some stuff. And then it wants me to provide my login keychain. Can I do that over here? Oh, it wants me to do it again because I got it wrong. There we go. I got a bookmark, password, some history. There's the history. Do I have the password? Yes. Okay. Okay, gang. Now this is interesting though, because depending on the version of Opera installed, oh boy, get source profiles may need to be null or not. So we can choose to support modern Opera. It would force everyone who's got Opera to make sure that they've got the most up-to-date version. When did this version that is being mentioned come out? Opera 104. Sorry, Opera. Oh, here we go. These are their FTPs. Oh, so back in 2023, it looks like. Why is this only breaking now? That seems crazy. 423 Mac. October 20. Did I misread this? Starting with this, an additional default folder versus this. This has been... That seems crazy. When? Release notes. Opera is from 2023. I swear that we've been importing from Opera since 2023. Why would this suddenly be broken? I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, in that case, if this is the way it's been doing it since 2023, like when is this build from? Opera 10349 2023 as well? What's happening? October. Oh, these are two different branches. They've been maintaining both, it looks like. But somewhere around the major version release, sometime during 104, they changed where the profile directory was stored. Huh. Huh. Very interesting. Whoops. Didn't mean to open a black hole there. All right. Well, in that case, I personally feel okay just getting rid of the source profiles restriction. And I wonder if we need to do the same thing with Opera GX. What is the bug reporter? Did they? Oh, they were able to get stuff from Opera GX, so that's okay. Even though get source profiles is null. This is something that we might need to eventually support for Opera GX as well. But okay. Let's see what happens. Do we have any... This is a really hard thing to write tests for, because in our test environments, in our automated CI test environments, we don't have like Opera installed. So we might just have to eat this one without a test, unfortunately. Let's see what happens if I run the tests, though. Like, this is the sort of thing that we really rely on, like our user base to help us detect. User base and QA. Okay. Let's call it there. Let's see if we can get that to work. Let's also see if that fixes it for Windows as well. I've got my Windows built here. I installed Opera on Windows, and let's see if we can get this to work as well on Windows. So I'll post this for review. I've just got the one change right now. Just removing this. JJ commit. What is the bug number? This is the bug number. Bug such and such. Update Opera Migrator to account for the default user profile. Default user profile. And this is going to be migration reviewers. It's going to be reviewing that. And then JJ bookmark create RUO. I'm going to call it Opera Fix. Get checkout Opera Fix. pause fab submit symbol opera fix whip. So then we can post it up. We can then go grab, we're gonna go grab this patch here on our Windows machine now. So let's transition over to our Windows machine, where the first thing we should do is, again, reproduce the issue. So I don't think I have Jujitsu on this machine, so I have to kind of switch my brain back to Git mode. Git pull rebase. We're gonna do an artifact build. Okay, build. Am I building with artifact? Let's hope so. Okay, and build. While we're doing this, does anyone have any questions about migrators or I don't know, anything anyone wants to talk about while we wait for this to build? It shouldn't take too long. It's an artifact build. Maybe I can talk a little bit about the second bullet. New tab message plumbing. So we've got this ability right now to show messages in new tab. Where is it? New tab message. Like this. To sort of like alert people about things. This is just like a little test message interface over here. To sort of like highlight things like, hey, you can set up new backgrounds. And what is AS Router? AS Router is the messaging system built into Firefox that tries to make it so that we can show messages to users about new features or things they need to know about at the right time without overloading them with a bunch of messages all at the same time. So it will attempt to make sure that a message that we're sending out qualifies for the client and that it's not going to like collide with other messages, because we don't want to like show 5 or 6 messages all at once, which is actually part of the problem we're trying to solve, because that collision problem is actually something that's occurring for messages on the new tab page, because the new tab page is special because it runs out of process. It runs in a separate process, and there does not yet exist a way for the AS Router system to know whether or not the foregrounded tab is a new tab that is showing a message. And so I was asked to see if there was like what would be the right way of running that plumbing, and I thought we could try and investigate that today. But first, is this my artifact build's almost done. AS stands for Activity Stream, by the way, and Activity Stream, the only like that's historical information. Like Activity Stream used to be the code name for new tab. And the only reason it's called AS Router is because the messages originally used to only show up on new tab, and then it was like modified to work with the rest of the browser, and then we stopped showing certain messages on new tab, what we called the snippets on the bottom. So we got rid of that mechanism, and now we've added a different new mechanism for showing messages on new tab, and it's just the fact that it has AS in the name is just a historical artifact. It's a real Rube Goldberg. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can reproduce the issue and make sure that Opera. I'll go ahead and do the same thing I did before, where I'm gonna create some. Let's create some browsing history, and then I'm going to create a password. How do I do that? Password. Oh my goodness. Passwords. Settings. Go there. Okay. Password manager. Add example.com. Test. Okay. So we've got some history. I'm going to create a bookmark. I'm going to bookmark. Was this bookmark? Bookmark. Done. All right. So I've created a bookmark. I've got some history, and I've got a password. Okay. Quit. Yeah. Let's make sure that we don't see Opera in the list. Data. We do not see Opera in the list. Great, that is expected. Now, let us try and get our patch that we just wrote applied and see if it fixes things. Patch. Whoops. Moz fab patch. I just need the last part. 254992. Apply to here. While that's happening, I'm going to boot up my Linux VM. We want to make sure we're going to have to install Opera on this thing as well. All right, build faster. Also, for people who don't know, Firefox 140 just went out, and there's like a bunch of stuff in there. There's in the release notes. We're still throttling it, but like a bunch of interesting stuff under the hood. There's like a dragging, dropping thing for pinned tabs, so you can, well, first of all, you can like create more space for pinned tabs by like moving that around, and then there's some custom extension stuff. There's the removing the extensions button, which I remember people were really excited about. Unloading tabs, that's built in by default now. You can like right click on a thing and unload a tab to reclaim some memory. Some improvements for translations, improvements to the built-in to the Arabic build. Now comes with a built-in Arabic dictionary, and we've enabled address autofill for Italy, Poland, and Austria. That's good. It disables Pocket, pour one out, and then improve the search feature and some of the inspector stuff. Web platform, a bunch of stuff, including support for the cookie store API, the custom highlight API, and some new events. Service workers are now available in private browsing mode, so that's good. That makes it harder for people to determine whether you're not in private browsing mode, and that also means that more sites will be able to benefit from service workers. There's like changes to how user agent styles are applied to H1 elements to be more spec compliant. This is an issue that we discovered yesterday, actually, is that if you have a dark theme installed, there may be some contrast issues in the sidebar, and so there's work underway to get that fixed. We're probably going to ship a dot release for 140 either this week or early next. So that one caught us off guard, but so it goes. That's why we do throttled rollouts. Okay, so we've applied the patch. Let us now see if we can import from Opera. Import. Hey, there you are. There you are. Import. Done. Done like dinner. Nice. Looking good. Okay, well, we did it. Let's make sure the password is there. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Feeling pretty good about that. Let's now make sure that it's all going to work out on our Linux machine. Now, how do I install... wait, cancel Balrog. Yeah, sorry. Close that down. Close that down. I'm going to install Opera for Linux. That's right. I clicked on the sponsored link. So Google's going to get a little bit of money. Remind me later. What happened? We got the DEB. Software install. It may complain because I think this VM is like pretty out of date. Like, I think there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be updated, so it may be pretty upset with me. Like, what version of uname r lsb release n help v r See? Jammy. Hey? This is Ubuntu 22.04, so this is like 3 years old. It's the LTS for Jammy. I don't know if it's still being maintained. It's been a while since I've checked. So, Opera stable. Installed size. Do it. Okay. Okay. Fine. How do I... Is it just installed now? I can't... Installed. This user experience. What is it? Opera. Opera. What the heck? Oh, it is installed. It's installed already. Wow, good for them. And it's version 119. Oh, well, that's a problem. I need this to be up to date. How do I... Is that under the software updater? Updates. Here we go. Here we go. Opera. Update. Hang on a second. I gotta move this. One sec. I think everything about this computer is now upset with me. Okay. Done. Okay. So it's installing. What is now the version of Opera? All right, I'll wait for that to install. That may take a second. But for now, okay, there we go. So now I have, according to package manager, I have version 119.05497, and the version that I really need is 104. Oh, so I've got a much... Also, if it's updated, still not offered. Okay, so this should reproduce the issue 119. Okay, so I'm gonna move this window back. Okay. So we've got Opera. I'm gonna try and find it here. Opera. I've got 2 operas. Let's see which one this is. Incredible. This looks really old. This looks like old Opera. Oh, wow. Look at this. Okay, hold on. Let's close that. Let's try... No, don't. Just quit Opera. Let's try the second one. What's the second Opera gonna do? This looks more like it. No thanks. Okay. So, we have a problem actually. Because we have 2 operas installed, we run the... I need to be able to differentiate one from the other. So I'm going to make sure that this one has gone to the CBC. It has a bookmark at mozilla.org. Where's the... And then also has a password set. Man, this is something. Add sample.com test. Okay. Now what happens? I'll bet you Firefox can detect the other Opera. I'll bet it can. I'll bet it'll see it. Oh, it doesn't. Oh my. Oh, in this particular case, yeah, it's definitely not seeing Opera, and also this Firefox is installed as a snap. So what I need to do is run normal Firefox. I need to build it. Quit. Oops. How come? Oh man, this is gonna be brutal. When was the last time I pulled? Okay, March, not that long ago. 3 months ago. HG pull U. All right, do you know still how to Mercurial? I would be very surprised if I can get an artifact build working with a Mercurial clone. We're going to find out. Yeah, 119 is newer than 104. That is correct. So while that's happening, maybe... so this is going to take longer than I expected to get a build going, a modern build of Firefox Nightly working on this machine. So we're just going to let that cook in the background, and we can think a little bit more about this problem of querying the topmost browser to see if it is A, new tab, and B, whether or not it is showing a message. And I think the second part is maybe the toughest part, because I'm pretty sure new tab doesn't have any send query. Yeah, it's not using send query at all. And that's exactly kind of what we want. We want to be able to ask a question of new tab of a particular page. Now, the way that new tab is so unusual. Because it's pretty unidirectional, but it isn't always unidirectional. And what we're talking about is asking a question. Asking a question. Port ID. Go to new tab, parent, message wrapper, message. Message is set. So the child process can easily just update the single tab. Okay. Show message. It gets the port ID. I wonder if the best model here, I'm just going to think out loud for a second while we wait for this to update, just based on how new tab already works. Because it does this kind of like, it has this unusual structure because it was at one point pivoting towards being able to be run remotely, like over the web. And so the communications pathway it uses is a little torturous, and it's still possible that down the line the UI could be hosted remotely, which is really interesting. But it does mean that we have to kind of twist ourselves into pretzels a little bit when it comes to communication. I think what I want to do... How does on action work in any of our feeds? Stuff.js. Highlight feed, places feed, system feed, wallpaper feed, places feed, discovery stream feed. Let's just look at any of these. On action. Does the action include the browser? Action. I'll bet it doesn't. Meta. from target. Maybe adds target. What is the target? Only to one content, where the target to target. It's an target ID. It's a target ID. Get target by ID. Aha. Get target by ID. We go through the loaded tabs. If port ID is ID, we get the actor. Get the actor values. So get target by ID. I just want to see who calls that. Anyone else? Search get target by ID. Okay. And what it does, it calls send async message with the outgoing message name. But the target is the actor. And the actor, I believe, if we get an about new tab, active browser, selected browser, browsing context, current window global, get actor, what was it? Get actor, new tab. Is that what it's called? Get actor. Get target by ID. Loaded tabs. It's a map. How do we add things to loaded tabs? About new tab parent. Loaded tabs, G, loaded tabs. Browser 2, an actor, a browser, a browsing context, a port. Okay. And what is the actor called? Tabs set. New browser, tab details. Tab details. Actor is this, the about new tab. About new tab, okay. So really, what we want to do, I think, what might be best is anytime a new tab is showing a message, it should fire like an action that is like in new tab parlance to the parent to alert that it's showing one, and then the parent will maintain a list of browsers that are showing messages. And then in order to do the check, we would see whether or not the browser is in the set. And if the message goes away or the new tab unloads, we should remove it from that set. Okay. Okay. I think that's the model. So then we need to be able to transition from when we receive a message. On message, on message, action, target, target is used to access browser reference that came from the content should be only used in feeds, not reducers. The underscore target will be the tab details browser, so we will have the browser. So we can use that. Okay. the action will go into the feeds. We need to know whenever the new tab unloads or goes away. And is there an action for that? It'll be listed under here. Whoops. New tab. I think it's actually actions.mjs. Unload. New tab unload. Perfect. And is there one in here for message? Show toast message. Discovery stream. Like the new tab message. How does this work? Router. Server. Message. New tab message here in new tab messaging under lib. And when we see a message, we'll send message set. That's what we'll do. There's something called message set. Message toggle visibility. I don't know what that one is. During dev, data false. Okay, I think I have a plan. I have a game plan for that. But we've also got our build here. So let's, I think we've got build with a Moz config wrapper here, right? Oh, I spelled that wrong. Moz config L. Build with artifact build. Well, first of all, I should clobber to reclaim some disk space. I'll bet you this disk is pretty full. And now let us build. Well, let's bootstrap. Make sure we've got everything we need just to do an artifact build. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had lunch before the stream. Yes. Begin, get all the stuff. Okay, so now if I go build with artifact build, should be able to mock build. All right. Okay. So it's downloading. It's just going to take a second here to unpack some stuff. In the meantime, again, any questions? Any questions about New Tab? I've been I don't know if people have known this. I've been working on the New Tab team for a number of months now, almost a year. I've been assigned as an engineer working on the New Tab team. I'm doing a lot of like principal engineer style work, so I'm not always down in the sort of the bowels of the code. I'm doing like higher level architecture stuff, but I've been working on New Tab, and there's some neat stuff coming up. Like, I'm really happy with the ability to do like the custom backgrounds. These sections are really neat. I like the way they look. What else? I think there's going to be some ongoing work regarding search, like this whole like handing off of search. I think we're gonna try and do something better there. But being able to like pick and choose the topics that you want to see. If stories interest you, you might want to see like, I'm stuff around, soccer or something. Like being able to pick and choose and customize. That is something we're very interested in. Alongside the other kind of customization you can do with like turn on weather and shortcuts and how many shortcuts and et cetera, et cetera. So, that's where I'm at. Okay, so let's run this build. What? Why did my root URI? Do I have a patch? I bet you I have a patch applied. Let's shutting down. What? HGDiff. Do I have a patch? Why, yes I do. HGlog. Okay, so HG revert all. I don't want any of those changes. I don't know what they were, but they're obviously not relevant. So we're going to blow them away. HG pull rebase. Am I on the right? I should be on the right. Maybe I need to make sure I'm also on central. Oh, there's some stuff there. So HG update our central. What is this stuff? Maybe I shouldn't have rebased. These things I do not want. Hit merge conflicts. Okay. HG rebase abort. I do not want to rebase. Okay. This is more like it. This is what I want. Just get to a modern tip of Mozilla Central, or main as we're calling it these days. Mozilla Central is the archaic terminology. Oh boy. Okay, so I think I've got a solution for this particular problem that I can start describing to my my colleague Nathan. Let me just ask him. Hey, I think I've got a. Well, I think I told him that I was gonna create like a work in progress patch that he could like see and then take over the line. So rebase abort. So maybe we can do that on the main line here. JJ new main at origin. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna make it so that if we're gonna have a action.sys.mjs under, it's just MJS, new tab, message set, message notify visibility. I'm going to add that. And then where do we... There's going to be code somewhere in one of our like JSX things for messages. Message wrapper. Here we go. Handle intersection. There's a message impression. Visibility change. Handle close. Action. Toggle visibility. Is hidden, is false. If not message. Okay. When would we dispatch? The action will be close, toggle visibility. That is true. That's weird. Okay, toggle visibility. I don't know why that's true whenever we're handling close on handle dismiss. Type message dismiss. Really, it's handle intersection, dispatch message impression whenever is visible. That's an handle intersection. Use effect. Not has run. Say handle intersection. Handle block. Handle click. Message. Maybe the action isn't toggle notify visibility. Notify. Well, now that I think about it, when would message set have is hidden true? Message set. Message set. Type message set. When would we have is hidden? When is hidden set? Is hidden. Message is hidden. When would is hidden? Message. Messages received from ASWriter are initially visible. Hidden action data. Oh boy. So toggle visibility. So this is actually toggling hidden state. That's what's going on. Oh, that's tricky. Okay. I don't know how much I love that. Toggle visibility. And the action message port ID dispatch. Otherwise, also to main. Toggle visibility. Return is hidden. It'll change the is hidden state of the message. This is a little Rube Goldberg, gang. But okay. I think it might be easier for me to describe what I'm envisioning. To my colleague rather than write it. Okay, so now that the rebase is aborted, HT update our central. So build with, I've already got the right build with, so mock build faster. In case you don't. Okay. So let me write up this plumbing idea so I can describe it to my colleague. So the issue is that, what was the module that knows it's like message set under new tab? It's this component called the new tab messaging. New tab messaging knows that it has sent a particular new tab an instruction to show a message in the past, but doesn't actually know if it's visible or not. It may have already been dismissed by the user. What we should do is, what I think we should do is have a message wrapper send an action to the parent if a message is shown and if a message is dismissed. The parent will maintain a weak set of browser elements that are showing messages. On a message shown, it'll add to the set. On message dismissed or new tab unload, it'll remove from the set. When it comes time to check if a message is visible on the current selected browser, merely check if it's in the set of 1. Okay, so that's what I'm going to recommend. Okay, so we've got our build at long last. At long last, I think we're gonna finally be able to verify this Opera business. So see, now we can import from Opera, but it's the other Opera. I've got 2 versions of Opera installed here. I think that's the problem, and so I can only import from the other one. And I need to remove that version of Opera. I need to remove the old version of Opera. So how do I do that? How do I find out what Opera this is and where it came from? Because this is old. Oh, now this is modern Opera. This is now modern Opera. So what happens if I try running the other Opera? Is Ubuntu trying to be smart and reordering things? It is. So let's find out about this Opera. Help. About. Opera. This is 93. This is Opera 93 and it is way old. And where is it installed? Mike's cheating? I'm cheating on you? What do you mean? So I think I may have installed this manually back in the day. Oh, by using Opera? Hey, Danny, you must have joined this stream late, Danny Colon. We're trying to fix importing into Firefox from Opera. So the install is right here. So I must have, how do I uninstall it? This particular version. Deep. Oh, I'm getting a Smurf D. A Smurf D command or deep PKGL grep opera. All right, let's see what we've got here. Opera stable 93. We're gonna remove opera stable. Quit opera. So sudo apt remove opera stable. Get rid of it. But this opera still exists, and that's good. Quit opera. So we should only have one opera listed now. Now, did it also get rid of the profile directory? That is worth finding out. That would actually be very surprising if it did. It didn't, so we have to get rid of that as well. And I actually forgot where it was storing it. Is it under C? Is it under local opera? Local opera. You know what? I could probably tell just by looking inside of the migration utils. Where do we normally look on Linux? We look inside a couple different places, but home config opera. Home config. See the opera. There it is. Okay. Now if I get rid of this, where is the other opera storing its profile directory? Where is your profile directory? I've realized now that this is a menu. That's really not obvious, opera. Where are you storing your profile directory? Profiles, it's because it's a snap. It's storing it in a snap. That's how that works. Okay. And so the we're gonna have to add, I think, to this list, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of opera here, and then I think what we need to do is we're gonna go back to Mozilla Central. We're gonna moz fab patch our patch, but we have to do a little bit of extra for Linux because it seems like Opera is using snaps now, and we need to add support for that, which is a little awkward. The whole snap thing is kind of super awkward, but we can try it. Okay, so moz fab patch, paste. Oh boy, come on. D2549 D4. Hello? D2549992. Also apply here. Apply to here. We're gonna figure it out, gang. We're gonna figure this out. Okay, with that applied, lock build faster. We're also going to want to Vim, browser, components, migrations, This is under the Chrome migration utils. Snap. Oh, snap. So for Opera, we can say that things are under Home Opera like that. But we can also say that they are under Home Snap Opera. And then let's go through Home CD list, Snap Opera, and then Common, and there's nothing there. Current, nothing there. 381, nothing there. 383, nothing there. Nautilus, open. Common, folder is empty. Let's double check here. Let's run Opera again. Where does it think its stuff is? It thinks its stuff is under Snap Opera 383. Snap Opera 383, but I can't see under there. .config, because there's an empty directory. Got it. So can I do current .config? So I can. And then default. No such directory. Config Opera default. There we go. There's the stuff. And where's is local state in the parent directory? Yes, it is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say that you can get it out of Home, Snap, Opera, Common, Snap, Opera, sorry, current, not common. Oh, I guess you can probably use common. Can you use common? If I do this. No. But current, yes. What happens if I shut down Opera? Is it only available because Opera is open? I don't know how any of this works. What is common then? Common. Cache. Oh. So that's interesting that for Chromium, we can look under Chromium Common and Chromium will be there. Like Chromium Common. Chromium. Yeah, that's weird. That's where its stuff is. Okay, well, at least for Opera, so Opera is going to be different. Opera is going to be current. Current. Opera. Not Opera. What was it again? Config. Config. .config. Then Opera. Current. config opera. There it is. Okay. And then also we need to do the one where if we happen to be installed as a snap. Snap. Chromium. Oh, nope, not Chromium. Opera. Current config opera. Let's try that. Build faster. Keeping snap folder right in the home folder. Good design choice. Yeah, I don't know. Snaps are a thing that we must live with, I guess. Import. And it understands. There's Opera. Let's see if it brings... So it can't pull in the password, unfortunately. Why not? I had a password in there. Opera. Pretty sure I had a password in there. Passwords? Where are passwords? What are you doing, Opera? Password. Yeah, there's a password in here. So something's going wrong with attempting to pull in the passwords. But let's see if we can bring in the other stuff. Okay, brought in a bookmark. The CBC? Or history? Yeah, CBC. Okay, so it did that, but it could not bring in the password. Oh, you know what? Password import is broken. It just doesn't work straight up. We don't have the cryptography stuff set up on Linux. That's why. I understand that why. Okay. Well, I know what's going on there. All right, so we've got that working. I'll need to test the nightly as a snap whenever whenever it lands in Central, but I'm fairly confident that we've got something that works here. Sorry, hgdiff. Let us quickly add some commentary here. Snap real home. So if we're installed normally, we can look for Opera installed as a snap on Ubuntu Linux by looking here. If we're installed as a I'll just copy this. Comment and apply it to Opera. If we're installed, Snap Home is a special place that Snap Environment is given us, and the Opera data is not within it. We want to instead start at the path set on the environment variable Snap Real Home. Yeah, and is there like some special permission stuff we needed to do? Has permissions. Has permissions. This is based on the Chrome Profile Migrator. Local state. If we can't read it, no permissions for local state folder. And we will return false. And if I remember correctly, there's not much we need to do here to support if not has permissions. Get permissions when. As permissions, no resources. As permissions, get permissions. Here, migrate or get permissions. If I remember correctly, there's something about migration wizard .njs. Is there? We show a special message. Chromium permissions. No permissions message. And then permissions instructions. Grant access to its profile folder. Select continue. Permission path. Okay, so this should be browser agnostic. Branch or name access to its profile folder. Choose select. Okay. Chromium. Okay, so I think that'll work. I'll just commit or post this up for review. hgdiff, hgglog. I miss you, Mercurial. hgamend. Did you check both Windows, Mac, and Linux? Yes, I have now, at this point, checked Windows, Mac, and Linux. We've done all three. We're just having to do this kind of special little turn of phrase. Let's post this up for review, and then I'm going to call the stream there. And then we've got, we'll hopefully have this reviewed shortly, and then we can get this landed, and people can start importing from Opera. And that's good. It's a bummer that this has been broken for a little while. It's weird that we're only hearing about it now, but it's possible this has been broken for a while. Submit, single, no whip. Let's go. No, it's not a work in progress. HG commit amend. Get rid of the let's get rid of the whip part. Man, this virtual machine is crazy slow. This whole computer, this Windows machine, I think is toast. Time to replace it. This also adds support for importing from Opera on Ubuntu Linux. Ubuntu Linux when Opera is installed as a snap package. Okay. Submit. Single. Let's go. And with that, I think we're going to call the episode there. Hey, thank you so much for watching episode, what was this, 406? 407 of The Joy of Coding. We're going to get this reviewed and landed, and people can import from Opera. That'll be good. And then they can use Firefox. I'm biased, but having now used Opera for, well, a little over an hour and a half, I've kind of like tinkered with it. It's fine. It's overwhelming. There is just a lot of information in that browser. It is very, very dense, I would say. And maybe I'm super biased because of my love for Firefox, but I definitely prefer Firefox. And with that, I'm going to call the stream. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode. There's a rate this episode form here at the bottom of the agenda. I'll put a link to that in the chat. Rate this episode form to rate this episode. Hey, and let me know what you thought. Do you want me to you want to know more about new tab stuff? You want to do more about migration? Give me feedback. Let me know what you're thinking, what you'd like to see more of, what you want to see less of, what's important to you. If you have any questions, I can try and answer. Just let me know that way, and it takes only a minute or so. And with that, I'm going to call it there. Thanks everybody for watching episode 407 of The Joy of Coding. Take care. Have yourselves a great week. Bye bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.